However, as Scott mentioned before, a keyboard sound profile is a combination of multiple different things. Some of these keyboards may sound higher pitched, as many of us describe as clack, while others will sound deeper, or also known as by the word thock, and some are in between. The wild thing is that some keyboards will thock with one type of switch and another will clack with the same one. It's pretty crazy, right? Well, it's because all the different things playing in a chord inside the keyboard. First, you have the keyboard key or thocky sound behavior. We will be using this, the Windex 65. I'm sure you have seen this board from the original Windex or from other reviewers that had a chance to show you what the Windex 65 is all about. Today, rather than going about the basics of the keyboard, I want to show you how the Windex. I could say that of all the recent keyboards I have tested, this is probably one of the wildest given the bright orange color and the sharp angular lines. It really stands out from the rest of the minimalistic designs and I really welcome this board to my ever-growing collection as well. Plus, this brass weight is executed so cleanly, with just a small sliver of it visible from the outside. The Windex 65, like the Windex, is a gasket-mounted keyboard, so it should have a naturally dampened sound, and also a dampened type feel as well. However, since the point of this video was to show you how I can tune this Windex 65 to be either clacky or thocky, I needed to swap the parts in and out, and I ran into an issue. My kit came with a solderable PCB, so how will I swap out switches if I have to solder and desolder it? Well, I can't. At least not easily. So, I got creative and I did this. I used Mil-Max sockets. It then pretty much works very similarly to the KO hot swap socket as well. So now that's done, let's get started by trying to build a clacky setup around slow, but is high wavelength and is good at penetrating surfaces or media. So just remember, clack is a high frequency and fast sound, thock is a low frequency and slow sound. So now, going into foam. Essentially, foam is an energy converting device. It acts as a barrier or an obstacle the sound wave needs to travel through. So what happens is that the loud, high amplitude sound will go through one side of the foam, and while doing so, the mechanical energy from the mechanical wave is then converted into heat through friction. I'm not saying that if you play sounds through foam you get crazy amount of heat, but rather it's very low friction and very low amount of heat generated, but the energy is being converted. At the other end of the foam, as the sound travels through it, loses energy and comes out as a more quiet sound overall. So, why do I care about this at all? And how does this relate to a keyboard user? Well, because of this, frequency or thocky sounds. So you're probably asking, who cares? And what do I need to take away from this? Well, it's simple. If you shove lots of thick foam or layers of foam into your keyboard, you're essentially reducing the deeper end of sound, so you get a small thock. Sorry for all this technicality, but I felt that I can use some of my aerospace engineering background to. I always wondered, when would I ever use this Ski Data themed keycap set? Well, now. On this perfectly black and orange keyboard known as the Windex 65, it actually works out perfectly. Overall, I think this build turned out very unique and fantastic. I just really love how it looks and stands out from the rest of, my other black keyboard builds. It's a little bit more minimal and very businesslike. Since this was a mainly sound shaping video, let's listen to how this thock build really sounds and what the final result was. And that is a crazy thocky build. Just deep, heavy, and low. I like it. So, I know this video is different from the typical keyboard review. Not to say that the Windex 65 is a bad board or anything like that.